Hey guys, how's it going? And happy Friday. I was just taking a look at the chat and good to see all of you guys. Looks like you guys are having a good time, and some of you thanked us for sending out a tourist magazines and trading cards. So I hope all of you guys that got those enjoy them, and we sent them out to a ton of you guys, like literally as many as we could right now. But as we always do, we'll hook some more of you guys up with some cool stuff later. So the title of the stream, I'm going to try to just have fun and be laid back tonight. Of course, look, the former vice president, right? He's always up to stuff. So nothing's ever good news in this day and age, especially if you love freedom, you love liberty, and you love to buy guns and ammo. But I'm going to talk a little bit about ammunition, what's going on as far as the market with it. Also, as you probably noticed, tons of different options have come in recently, probably brands you've never heard of, different offerings. Some of it may or may not be the same thing, just under a different label. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm also talking about the fact that I'm going to remind you guys again, ammo is on its way up. And if you guys that are on my locals remember, I literally, when I was driving, I think I was in Ohio or Kentucky at that time, down to the gathering event in South Carolina. I did a quick video and said, guys, I'm warning you, ammo's on its way up and it's going to be soon. And I think it's really soon. So, yes, I know ammo's already way up from what it was just 2 years ago. And some of you guys, which I'm really glad you guys are still here, might have been watching these streams back then. And you might remember back in early March of 2020 when I was like, guys, literally run out and get whatever you can right now. It's about to go crazy. And it did. It doubled overnight. Now, I'm not saying ammo is going to double overnight, but I do think any day now. See, I don't know what day it's going to be, if it's going to be tonight, tomorrow, next week, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, but we're going to be seeing it go up in price. And with certain calibers, certain offerings, certain brands, I could see it being double in some cases by next year. And it's for many reasons. So I'm just going to go over some ammo. I have a bunch of it off to the side here that I'll be showing you guys as the stream goes on tonight. Just some different, offerings that I like, different calibers, some of it brass, some of it steel. I'm also going to talk about some of the guns that I'm interested in right now and looking forward to in 2022. So most of what I want to talk about is going to be more fun and kind of like good news and stuff to look forward to, except for the ammo prices. If you don't already have enough, well, can you ever have enough? Somebody was just saying earlier, how much ammo do I need? Well, you always need that extra box or even case more than what you have right now. And then when you get that extra box or case, well, then you have to repeat what you just said. So can you ever have enough ammo? I don't know. Maybe. In my case, it seems like probably not. And I always want a little bit more for many, many reasons. So I can practice, so I can recreationally shoot, and obviously defend off a tyrannical government, home invaders, all these different types of things. And also, and I've talked about this, I've been talking about this quite a while, but I'm literally looking at ammunition as an alternate form of currency. Seriously. Now, I'm not giving financial advice, obviously. That's not my thing, but ammunition is an alternate form of currency. What do you guys think? Now, I don't want this to happen, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I'd like to tell you guys it couldn't happen, but hey, with a lot of stuff I've seen in just the last 2 years alone, I'm pretty much convinced anything can happen, especially in this country, but I don't know. But if you look back, the Weimar Republic, go back about 100 years ago in Germany, there was a time when they were taking wheelbarrow loads of cash and just burning it, because why not? Like, just burn it in protest or throw it in the fireplace to get a little bit of heat, because you start to experience hyperinflation and certain things can happen. It's usually the perfect storm. And once it starts, it usually literally goes 1,000 miles an hour. At least it has in history, even in recent history too, with other countries like Venezuela. See, here's the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. I've showed this before. This is a $10 billion bill. And while this currency's now been dissolved, and this is nothing more than, I guess, a collector's item, or in this case, I use it as a conversation piece. In 2008, when this was printed, this was a $10 billion bill, and they actually made bills a lot larger than this. But I think this proves sometimes what a piece of paper. You could look at it as a Zimbabwe note, or you could think of our Federal Reserve notes, which are legal tender for debts, public and private. Literally, if you read it, it says that it's tender to pay off debt. That's actually what it is. Like, literally, right? $10 billion bill. Now, if there was a time where you could buy a box of ammunition for, I don't know, $5 in Zimbabwe, then you got to the point where just a couple short years later, a $10 billion bill couldn't even buy you a loaf of bread. What would be worth more, the box of ammunition or the piece of paper? Now, I'm not telling you that the United States dollar is going to go down to nothing, but anything's possible right now. I'm just going to say that. I'm not an economist. I don't give financial advice. But if you really think about it, this is a 7.62 by 39 cartridge. I've got a piece of 9mm right here. Whatever its intended purpose would be, and there's many intended purposes that you could use a loaded cartridge and then ultimately load it in a firearm and send the projectile down the barrel. The projectile doesn't really care when it's in mid-flight what the United States dollar is worth, does it? It doesn't really care what your Facebook stock's worth or your Twitter stock or your 401k. It's still going to do the same purpose that it was intended to, as long as you store it right, as long as the firearm works. Those are both givens, but it doesn't really care what the United States dollar is worth. Therefore, this actually has a real use, okay? And it has a real use for you for many, many reasons. You guys could probably think of 1,000 reasons if you thought long enough that you would be able to use a projectile going through the air. And some of them are for very serious use. Some are for actually just fun and recreation, right? Now, also, not only could you think of a bunch of uses for this, but think about the fact that America has over 100 million gun owners. So there's a lot of people that have use for this. Well, if somebody needs goods, needs services, and they don't have as much of a use for a piece of paper, but they do have a real life use for this, this may become an alternate form of currency where you could maybe trade somebody ammo for services, trade ammo for goods. You know, maybe your neighbor has a plentiful garden and they have some tomatoes that you need to eat. The former vice president, by the way, literally, this country's a mess right now, guys, and it's going to be factoring into ammo prices like it already has been, and it will continue to do so. Let's go, Brandon. The former vice president, right? The most popular, and by the way, how's it going, Susan Wiki? Right after I say the most popular of all time, I have to say hi, Susan. And everybody that's watching on YouTube, welcome, all the YouTube employees. I mean, especially welcome to all you guys that are watching right now. But according to Time Magazine, a NewsGuard certified source, the most popular and the most fortified of all time. That's what we think of when we say, let's go, Brandon. The most fortified of all time. Well, think about it. He says that there's going to be food shortages. Like, literally told you that. Not like hypothetically, kind of, sort of. Well, first, he came out and said, I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize human and national pressure. And then he said, I'm your man. Now we're going to have food shortages. Really? Think about it. Think about it. I don't know. I'm not saying this is going to happen, and I hope it doesn't happen. But if you never thought about the fact that you might need to trade a little ammunition for food, or you might need to use the ammunition to go out and harvest game or defend supplies or whatever, acquire any type of food you need. If you haven't even thought about it now, I'd say it's time to at least think about it. Is that fair? I'm not fear-mongering. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, guys, but I think in this day and age, maybe you should probably just be thinking about it a little bit at the very least. So I don't know. I've often thought about different things as alternative forms of currency. I mean, a piece of silver right here. Yeah, I think this is technically Mexican currency. This is the one my friend Bantalk gave me as a gift. And thank you, buddy. Shout out to your channel, by the way. Could you look at this as a hedge against the United States dollar or anybody's dollar? Yes. Is this a valuable metal that's good for many different industrial processes? Yes. You could even melt it into a bullet, especially for werewolves. Okay. So this does have some utility function, and it is, quote, worth money, whatever that means at any given time, right? But at the end of the day, though, if you needed to gather yourself up something to eat, are you going to throw this at a squirrel or rabbit or deer or whatever to harvest it? Probably not. This actually probably could be more useful physically in many situations. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you needed to defend your food supply because you already thought ahead and bought it all, but somebody else that was freeloading and I mean, the most popular of all time, somebody that voted for him or whatever, or maybe all their ancestors did. He was Republican his whole life till the day he died, then voted Democrat ever since, right? You know the deal. Maybe they come for your food because they're a freeloader. You could throw this at them, or, 2,200 foot per second or so, 2,400 foot per second, depending. I don't know. So there is different ways to think about different things. And I think about ammunition a lot, especially being an avid shooter. So I'm going to talk about the ammo first. And you guys already know this if you've been following this channel, because I've been talking about it for a while. I literally put out a video on a stream. It was actually a live stream on a Friday night within like an hour or two of the Russian ammo sanctions. No more ammo would be allowed to come in from Russia, right? Except for the permits that had already been approved. They're called the Form 6. Well, those permits that were already approved were going to be allowed to be fulfilled. However, no more. So we've known for a while now that Russian ammo will be no more at a certain time and point. Now, from when I first made that announcement, it was up to 2 years or so, maybe a little less, but around 2 years. Well, a lot's changed lately, right? There's wars going on over there. There's more and more strokes of a pen, sanctions, bans, all these different things that are literally fluid. Like at any minute, they could literally sign a piece of paper and change things. So the Russian ammo, from what I understand, is at the very minimum heading up in price quite a bit here really soon. That's at a minimum. That's if they choose to even keep sending it over at all, because there's inherent risk with sending it over. Wondering if another stroke of a pen could stop it where it's not even allowed to be unloaded at the docks. Think about that. And from what I understand, there is some apprehension from some of the other different companies over there. So we've known, though. We've known this for a while. We've known that the Russian ammo is banned. There was just kind of like, I don't really want to call it a grace period. It was just more like the Form 6s, the ones that were approved, were allowed to be fulfilled for whatever they were able to procure. But as far as that goes, that's it. Now, some of you are thinking to yourself, well, Russian ammo, why do I care about Russian ammo? Well, if you're an AK or SKS fan or even AR-15, 9mm, you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, I use Russian steel case all the time. I care. And then there's some of you that say, no. I would never, ever put, steel case stuff in my gun because it's junk. Okay, that's a personal decision. I don't care. I could care less. Some guns were built for steel cased ammo and they run like totally awesome in it. Other guns that weren't necessarily designed for it may run just fine. You might not be comfortable with it. But here's the thing that's kind of crappy. It doesn't really matter if you're into Russian ammo or not, because I literally cited this stat probably, oh my gosh, this was back a while ago. And then again with the announce of the Russian ammo ban a few months back, they say it's about 20% of the United States ammo that we buy, the supply comes from Russia. And that's been a well-published fact for a while. So even if you're not one of the people that partakes in that 20%, it's still going to affect you. I mean, that's just kind of common sense. Maybe forever, maybe for a short period of time, that we could debate. And I am actually going to talk about a bunch of new offerings. I mean, I've got boxes of ammo sitting here from companies that I had never even heard of until recently. So things may change over time. And I think for the good a little bit, but also for the bad, for other reasons, economic reasons. But anyways, 20% of the supply comes from one country. That gets completely cut off, let's just say, which it will eventually. Maybe sooner than later, but at the very latest, it's getting cut off. I don't know, a little over a year from now or so. I'm not doing the exact math, but rough math. You remove 20% of the supply out of anything, you're going to disturb that balance of supply versus demand. Unless people all of a sudden just stop shooting. But I don't think so, because actually anytime there's volatility in the market, or there's a time when people are afraid they're not going to have, usually actually buying goes up, which will probably continue to create this perfect storm. Whereas there's less supply, demand will probably exponentially increase because people are going to notice the supply dwindling, and they kind of become a self-fulfilling prophecy in and of themselves, don't they? So I think that's what we're going to see happening. And I'm also going to talk about just the raw commodities part, like the natural resources that are mined, that are actually put into these finished cartridges. It's all way up in price. Every last bit of it. Even steel's up quite a bit. Literally just basic, mild steel. I have friends that are in the steel fabricating business, and they tell me, a sheet of steel is up 25%. Now, that's not from 2 years ago. It's up 25% since they did their last order kind of thing. So it's literally all volatile. Every bit of it is. Anything you can think of that has something to do with natural resources, commodities. I was at my friend's place. My friend Frank that's hanging out here, he works for a construction company. And he literally told me today, asphalt either is right now or is on its way, I don't want to misquote him, to costing more than concrete. Why? Because of all of the petroleum product that's in asphalt. So this isn't just ammo, guys. This is many, many things that they're just skyrocketing up. Anything that's rich in natural resources that requires commodities, right? Clover Tack, what's happening, man? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for the super chat. Oh, I think he's going to give me some advice here. Lead is too easy and cheap to get. Also too easy to mold, so would never make my silver into bullets. Would use an arrow first. Good evening. How's it going, man? And shout out to you and your channel. Make sure you guys check out the Clover Tack channel. He's been a good friend of the channel. Literally helped it when it was in dire straits. And also a friend of mine. I had the pleasure of getting to hang out with you, man, just a couple weeks ago. And that was awesome. So shout out to you, dude. But what are you going to do about the werewolf? Now, maybe in Texas, you guys are so tough that werewolves don't even come to Texas. But I don't know, man. I don't know. See, I agree with what Clover said, and he brings up some good points. And I do like him, but I might have to disagree, because if he runs against the werewolf, then he's screwed if he's not willing to meld his silver down. You know what I'm saying, man? Come on, man. What are you going to do? I know he's going to come back and say, there are no werewolves in Texas. Speaking of Texas people, what's happening, Smash Time? How you doing, man? Shout out to you and your channel, too. How you doing, buddy? True American Loretta, how's it going? Nice to see you. All right. So we're looking at so many different factors going on right now, guys, and there's always this. It can never be that simple, right? What's happening, Orion Fixer? Nice to see you, man. You were around in May of 2020. I know you were. Heck, you've been watching this channel back before it was even called 2AEDU. Nice to see you, dude. Okay, so Russian ammo. We know it's on its way out. That's literally a proven fact. Prices of it increasing rather swiftly and quickly. Yeah. And it's also volatile, whether it's going to keep coming at all. So here's what I'm going to say. If you guys are into Russian ammo and you want to get some, I'm not going to promote any particular site here just due to YouTube's, terms and conditions. And, I fought hard to keep this channel on the up and up, so I'm not going to violate those things. But if you guys check out my recent locals post, can you just throw that in there for them, Linda? Go over to locals when you guys get a chance when we're done tonight. That's a different site, different set of rules over there. So we do our thing here. We do other things over there, right? That's why I love doing both. In that post, I just literally showed you guys a recent ammo purchase I made that were awesome, awesome deals, and it actually includes some of this Russian stuff. And this is what I'd be focusing on right now. If you are an AK, SKS person, or AR-47, and you don't mind putting steel case in your AR-47, okay, there it is. She just threw it up there. It says tiny URL. That's a legit link to locals. It's just, we shortened it so it wouldn't be so long, okay? Right now, literally on that locals post, this is a very good price. Literally the best I know of on the whole internet. I'm not even joking. And go check that post out for a way to get free shipping on this and your ammo for a whole year. But 7.62 by 39 Wolf. I know where this stuff is exactly right now. Yeah, that's up to almost 8 a box. It's actually less than 8. It's actually less than 8 if you guys follow that link, okay? Cheapest place I know of. There might be another place. I just can't find it. It was 4 a box in March of 2020. Then it was 5. Then it was 8. Then it was, 10, 12. And then it worked its way back down to this. I don't think it's going to work its way back down. Not with the recent news that they're going to be slapping an increased price. I don't know if we necessarily want to call it a sanction or a tariff. I think it's economic sanctions to punish Russia, right? Try to affect their commerce. I don't think this has time to come back down in price anymore, guys, before it goes up, like maybe literally in the next couple days. I have no idea, but I can promise you guys, 2 hours before this stream started, I bought some of this exact product If you want to know where, follow the link over to the locals post. It's real self-explanatory. It just goes into details I'm not going to talk about here on YouTube just due to their terms of service. You know what I'm saying? It looks like look, guys, you guys remember that. My whole channel, it got what's called demonetized. It's a type of restriction. I made it public to all of you guys. And I had a good friend named Clover who helped me out with that and just got me a fair shake. He wasn't going to bail me out if I was breaking any rules. He just got me a fair shake, got it in front of somebody that could look it over. And they said, you know what? The channel's fine. And they brought it right back up to snuff again. So I'm not going to sit there and violate the terms and service of YouTube all blatantly like some people would do. And they can do whatever they want. It's just in good faith. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to do it here, they have rules here. It is what it is. I mean, that's why we say Susan Wiki. And that's why I also do tons of stuff over on another website that has different terms and conditions. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how that works. All right. So yeah, man, a lot of us missed the deals where it was $4 a box, even cheaper than that, even like, less than that, like mid threes, $3.60 a box if you were willing to buy it by the case. I don't think we'll ever see it again. Asterisk, maybe if there's some like big paradigm shift and like everything turns back around in like a totally awesome way. But here's the problem. I don't think we're ever going to see it for this price again. And here's why. These sanctions seem to be long lasting. And we saw this happen. Look, obviously the former vice president, the most popular and the most fortified of all time. Clearly I wasn't going to vote for him. Look at the one before that. They call her Hillary. Wasn't going to vote for her either, obviously. But then look at Trump. Trump slapped some sanctions on Russia with the Molot Vepers. Yeah, he did. And he never repealed any of the other stuff. Look, we buy everything in the world from China. Trump could have signed with a stroke of a pen and repealed sanctions on Chinese ammo. Look, I know you guys don't like to support China. Trust me. I'm not saying you do, but you buy everything from China. Like, if you're on here, provably you bought something from China because you can't even buy a phone or computer that's not from China. But I digress. Republican presidents that have said, if you elect me, I'll be the most pro-gun president you've ever had. They never unsign anything. They'll ban a little less than a Democrat, but they'll never reverse anything that a Democrat did. In some cases, they'll actually ban more than a Democrat. But you know what I'm saying? Best case scenario is your Republican will get in office. He'll put the brakes on and slow things down just a little bit. But when's the last time they actually went back and truly repealed anything? Ammo in the United States. Yes, Palmetto State Armory, PSA, is going to be making steel-cased ammo. Okay? I have that on good accord right from the top. Literally. They're in the process of tooling up, and they're going to be making it. But making steel-cased ammo in the USA isn't the same as making steel-cased ammo in Russia. A living wage is going to be different in both countries, right? We're going to have different things like our EPA. You don't think about that in the gun world, but that actually means a lot. Do you remember when Obama shut down the last lead smelting plant in the United States? It actually has to do a lot with ammo, the amount of emissions the factories can put out. Heck, we're not even going to be allowed to own gasoline or diesel-powered engines by year 2030? According to the vice president, the former vice president, I would note. Shipping all this ammo? Oh, my battery died. Oh, sorry, I can't get the ammo from the factory to the gun shop today. Why is that, sir? It was a cloudy day. The sun wasn't out. We can't ship any ammo with our solar-powered car. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that they're doing besides just sanctions, saying, I'm banning this country's ammo, or we're going to put in this certain type of gun control bill. No, actually, a lot of the other agencies that are involved and are under the control of, normally they're under the control of the president who runs the executive branch. In this case, the former vice president who runs the executive branch and all these agencies. You ain't going to be able to make steel-cased ammo cheaper in the United States than what you can in Russia. In my opinion, it just ain't going to happen. Now, let's go on to this. So, make sure you guys check that out. Hold on, let me just check something real quick. Let me click over to this other thing. Somebody just told me that this ammo that I'm showing just went up $2 in the last 2 hours. It did not. Not where I'm at. Most places it might be $9.68, but literally I'm looking at it in stock right now. If you want to get there, go to that Locals link. That's my newest post. You do have to sign up for an account on Locals, by the way. It's not a paywall. You guys can support over there, or you can join for free. Free members still have access to this post equally, but there is a login, which is good. So it makes it where it's not just a completely pass through. You have to take the 5 minutes to set up for a free account, but I just clicked on the link in my post, and I can guarantee you guys right this minute, I'm going to timestamp this, 10:11 p.m., 4/15/2022. This is available for $7.78. So there you go. And free shipping if you're a member of that program, which I definitely recommend. All right, 7.62x39. This is another one to keep your eye out. 5.45x39. This is a Russian cartridge, obviously. That's not made very much in America. There's a Hornady offering, and it's very expensive, right? Not much of it, like practically none. They don't make a ton of that stuff. 5.45x39. I know it's a rare cartridge. I'm not going to dwell on it, but at that same place, you guys can go check it out from the locals link yet again, like $8.99. Made in Russia, steel case. If you have an AK-74, a Polish Tantal variant thereof, hopefully you've got what you need. If not, hurry up and get it. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Not trying to panic you, but that's going to be trouble. That's going to go up in price. And yes, again, PSA is going to make steel case ammo. And PSA is an awesome company, by the way. Shout out to those guys. Man, just everyone I meet that works there, totally awesome people. They're innovative. And you can literally look at their policy of why they started this company. They started off just selling parts and accessories out of a garage, like actually a very humble beginning. Two brothers out of a garage, right? Jamin and Josiah. And they moved up to being now like the largest supplier of ARs in the country and many, many other awesome products. But from the very beginning, it still is today, to keep things like the AR and many other items as low as they possibly can in price, to get so many people armed with them in America that it would become extremely difficult, if not outright impossible, to try to take them away. And of course, they're in the business to make profit. Like, obviously, somebody who works really hard and has a good business better make profit. And I hope none of you guys would work for a company for free either, but they work on a very, very low profit margin and a high volume. And, you know, that's what they consider a win-win. And I definitely do too. So they'll be making steel cased ammo. Sometimes with that company, though, I'm going to call a spade a spade. Sometimes when they announce something, it can take them a little longer for it to come out. So there's going to be a little lull where you might have a hard time finding some of these Russian calibers as easily. 7.62x39. Man, you know, you've got Norma filling in the gaps a little bit with that. The Ruag Corporation, recently acquired by Beretta, from what I understand. You've got a company called Belome. There's a few more options with the 7.62x39, but I'll tell you what, none of them are as cheap as steel. And as the price of the steel goes up, the brass is going to go up, in my opinion, too, for two reasons. First of all, there won't be that low-priced item. It's called competition, to kind of keep the other ones competitive with it. Also, once this stuff ceases to come in, we're going to be down 20% of our supply. Well, also, just look at the price of raw materials. Back to that again. Yeah, steel's going up in price too. But with steel-cased ammo, you don't use so much steel, and steel's a cheaper price commodity than, say, things like copper and zinc, right? Well, look at brass. You guys know brass is just an alloy of copper and zinc pretty much, right? Different mixtures. But from what I understand, although there could be some variance, it's about a 70-30 split for ammo brass in general. 70% copper, 30% zinc. This stuff's up like over double in price what it was just a couple years ago. And if you're looking at what's called the futures, and you're looking at people that speculate and predict what a natural resource or a commodity would go for, they're saying it's still on the up and up. So, yeah. You also look at just the cost of living. You look at inflation, and you look at wages going up, which means the products have to keep going up even more. But wages aren't going up in correlation to the products. And that's where you can talk about things like inflation. And this isn't gun related, so I'm not going to dwell on it. But you guys do know this, though. If you look at back of the old like inflation of like the Carter administration, and then look at it now, they don't factor inflation the same now as they did back then. So many people say this could be the worst that we've seen in a very, very long time. They'll say the worst since Jimmy Carter, but they don't like to tell you they actually used a different set of rules for calculating inflation then than they do now. And here's what's so rigged. Look, it's all rigged, guys, clearly. I think you know this by now. It's all rigged. The whole society, all this stuff when it comes to the government. They're the ones, the powers that be, make the rules on what inflation technically is. And when it's going to be too high, then they just change the rules and use different things to keep the number a little bit lower. I'm not an economist, but fact check me. It's not much different than how I described it. So 9mm. This is the Red Army Standard. And this is where I was kind of talking earlier about, well, you could have different offerings, but some of them are more of the same. So this is an example of that. Red Army Standard. That's an importer, right? That's an importer that's going to be, I believe they're still owned by Century Arms. That's who I know founded the Red Army Standard line years ago. But this is literally Tula ammo. And by the way, if you guys are looking for Tula 9mm, same thing. Check that recent locals post I put up just before I went live on here. See, manufacturer, JSC, the Tula Cartridge Works. I think I have a box of Tula ammo right here. This is always interesting. You'll see brands like Herders at like your Cabela's or maybe Monarch, depending what big box stores you have in your area. But Tula, 9mm. And it's kind of interesting because if you go to that site where I put it in my locals post, back to that again, you'll actually see both of these offerings, and this one's $1 cheaper than this one. Well, unless you like the white box or you like the logo. I'll show you something here. So this we know is Tula ammo. You could call it tall ammo. It's a play on words. Clearly they're playing off the old Tula arsenal, which was one of the big military arsenals that made many Mosin Nagants, AKs, SKS, many other things. Steel case. Let me see if I can get that to zoom in on there. It might be tough to pick it up. Yeah, it's not wanting to cooperate. But it literally says Tula ammo, 9mm Luger on the case head. Tula ammo, 9mm Luger. Sometimes this will pick it up. Sometimes it won't. Yeah, since it doesn't want to right now, just trust me. This says Tula ammo, 9mm Luger on it. Let's open up this Red Army Standard and see what it says on it. I already showed you the back of the box where it says Tula ammo. Just some little tips and tricks. Dude, it's in the same exact typeset, same font. Now you can see it. There you go. At least you guys saw this one. This is the stuff I just took out of the Red Army Standard. 9mm Luger, Tula ammo. So, not similar to, not kind of, sort of. In this case, it's the same exact product. Just brought in by a different company that has a different deal. I'll show you another way to look at it here. Has another importing deal going on, right? There they are. Like, I swear they're even using the same identical trays. Like, it's the same, just different printing on the box, which is cool. That means this is a licensed product, whatever, that the Red Army Standard Company, who I'm pretty sure is still Century Arms, unless that's changed over the years. We've got Tula ammo here. We have Red Army Standard here. When I move them in the light, they might look slightly different, but see, look, they're exactly the same thing. So there you go. Hopefully that helps somebody out. You're going to see some other options. By the way, people buy a lot of 9mm ammo from Russia. So as much as you're thinking to yourself, but I only shoot brass, I just don't care. Oh, you're going to care, all right. Trust me, you're going to care. So I'm not just telling you just to run out and buy steel cased ammo right now. I'm not telling you to run out and do anything. I literally showed you guys a list of my exact ammo order I made for myself, though, on that locals post. I ordered a little bit today. Not as much as I wanted to, but I did a little bit. Your brass cased ammo is going to go up, too. It's just going to. And look, I'm not saying there's no light at the end of the tunnel. It could come back down, but you have to decide for yourself when you think this economy is going to turn around in this country. When people are going to start valuing the American dollar more, not just in the United States, but worldwide. And when the dollar starts becoming more valuable against the world market and against the commodities markets. Because there's things you want in life, and then there's things you need in life, right? And yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about here. Some things you want, some things you need. You can buy stuff you want with $1. You can buy you stuff you need for $1. But when more people need something and they truly need it than what they have right now, yeah, that's when you see prices soar. That's when you're talking about like, I mean, look, you don't make this stuff up, guys. And I'm not trying to be too doom and gloom, but you know, look at the country of Zimbabwe. This is in 2008. Look at Venezuela recently. And you think to yourself, well, hold on, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, those aren't first world countries like America. Well, look at the Weimar Republic about 100 years ago, almost exactly, maybe a little more now, in Germany. That was a first world country if there's ever been one, obviously. Long time European country. Look at what their dollars did. Literally went down to nothing. And you can also buy collectible. When I say collectible, some of it's worth a lot of money, some of it's not. But you can buy for collecting only because it's no longer considered to be legal tender. You can buy collectible German notes from the early 1900s that will also reflect this same type of hyperinflation. Now, I'm not saying we have hyperinflation in the United States. I can't possibly predict where we ever will. But I'll tell you what, right now, I mean, just buying like simple things. There used to be the dollar menu. You could go to Wendy's and get a $1 junior cheeseburger. Now, I'm not talking back in like decades or centuries ago. I'm talking like a year or two ago. Now, it's the $2 value menu. Think about it, the $2. By the way, how far have we gone? Let's go, Brandon. Think about this. I'm holding this up literally as an analogy that in many, many things right now, including many of the metals, the raw materials that are used to make our ammunition, think brass, think lead, think the components of the brass, the copper, the zinc, you know, the alloys. It used to take $1 to buy a certain amount. Now it's $2. And this is why I said, let's go, Brandon, because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, man, what do these guys think? Do you guys know what I'm looking at on the back of this right now? You're thinking, what's he looking at here? I'm looking at something right now. I'm thinking, man, just think of those guys and what they did. What they signed in July of 1776, the Declaration of Independence is on the back of this $2 bill. And it shows them as they had the document there and they're signing, and there was a room of people eagerly awaiting because this was one of the most exciting things they'd ever done. And they also went straight for their ammunition batteries, right? Their magazines, they were called. I don't mean magazine like you put it in there and it holds 17 rounds. Magazine where they stored it. The British are coming, and they were coming for their cannon, for their muskets, their musket balls. Like they were coming for their ammunition magazines, these big places where they would store it all. That was in about 1775. The shot heard around the world. You think of Massachusetts, Lexington, Concord Bridge. And these guys were like literally really, really excited to sign this document. This was the greatest experiment on self-governance that the world had known, maybe ever, or certainly in a very, very long time. Probably forever. The first great experiment on self-governance. But they also had to be kind of a little bit scared too, because that was a death sentence they signed. It'd basically be like if you got a letter in the mail and said, sign this and mail it in and you'll be dead tomorrow. That's what they were signing, right? It's crazy. I'm literally just holding this up as an analogy to be like, it would now take this $2 bill to buy what this $1 bill would like last year. And I'm like, oh man, I was kind of getting in a bad mood, you know, thinking about how much ammunition's going up in price. Probably in the next few days or weeks for the most part, quite a bit. Certainly with certain offerings, especially if you're into the steel case stuff. I'm like, man, tonight's going to be a good night though, because I was looking at the Declaration of Independence the whole time, and I've got all of you guys hanging out in the chat. So let's keep talking about ammo. Here's another type of 7.62 by 39. This was available from the same place that's in that locals post. This sold out a little while ago. Hopefully some of you guys got some of this. This is good stuff. This is called Max Tech. And this is something else where it's kind of more of the same, because this looks exactly like the Golden Tiger offering that's been brought in. See, a lot of times they'll make it, well, they only really make it at a few different plants in Russia. And then they'll strike different deals with different importers and companies that want to brand it, right? So this is Max Tech. GH ammunition, they call it. Trust me, this same exact loading's coming under several names over the years. In fact, what's interesting, this is really interesting. The Red Army Standard, right? Used to be this exact ammo. This is the Vine Pal, the Golden Tiger. In this case, it's called Max Tech. That used to be what was in the Red Army Standard 7.62x39. Then they hooked up with Tula ammo, and now you get 7.62x39s, the Tula ammo in the Red Army Standard. So some of this stuff will go in full circle. This is a good round to have for several reasons. Now, there's no free lunch. I'm going to start right off. One of the biggest benefits to this, and one of its detriments, is this is a lacquered case. Obvious benefit. Lacquer over a steel case. Steel cases can rust, and I keep this by my computer always, just to remind you guys. That's why I did that ammo storage video. This is a 7.62x39. I believe this was a Tula ammo. Yep, Tula ammo. That just fell down on the floor in my shop. It's never flooded in here even once. And it's actually humidity controlled, but it was sitting down on the concrete. And concrete likes to attract moisture, right? So look at how the case rusted. If it was lacquer coated, it probably wouldn't have done that. But like I said, there's no free lunches here, okay? There's no free lunch. This isn't going to do that. But it does have lacquer, and people have reported, and I did have it happen once. I talked about that in the Do You Keep Your Mags Loaded video. Talked about it once. This can, under certain conditions, kind of sort of almost glue the rounds together. It happened to me once, guys. I can't say it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it always happens, but it can. This also has what's called a neck sealant. See that purple? It's like a purplish blue color. That's what's called sealing the neck of your cartridge to help keep moisture out. We're going to look at our primer here with that same purple sealant substance around there, and that's also going to seal that. There's no such thing as 100% waterproof ammo, but this is about as close as you're going to get for the most part. So that's another variant of Russian steel cased ammo that's good. Good stuff. At the exact moment, this is no more, but I post this stuff on Locals as soon as it comes in stock, guys. So I've got your back over there as much as I can. I'll show you one more example of 7.62x39. Because I know this Russian ammo price volatility is going to affect all ammo. I'm not kidding you guys. But clearly, when you think of Russian ammo that's either jutting up in price quickly here, and then eventually, or maybe sooner than later, just stopping. I mean, they could literally do something any day now to literally stop it. And if you think they will, that's what you can think. If you say they won't, cool. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll let the contracts finish out, but I don't know. The former vice president, right? I'm going to show you guys another offering here by Barnall. Did I have a couple chats to catch up on, Linda? Let's catch up on them. Because if people are generous enough to leave a super chat, I don't want to miss it, and then they get out of here, you know. Marco Polo, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. Channel member, super chat, Locals regular. He says, AAC is from me. Thanks for everything, 2AEDU. No problem, man. How'd you know I had this right here? We're going to talk about this in a little bit. This is AAC, America's Ammunition Company. This is a PSA company, and this is made in the good old US of A. And in fact, right now, pretty darn fair price. Check my Locals out for deals on this too, because I'm not going to promote any place that sells these types of things. Susan Wiki. JIL with the super chat. JIL 416. Nice name there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Very generous super chat. Says, trying to be a fan of 38 Super, LOL. Well, you know what? 38 Super, you know, not as popular as it used to be, but at one time it was used, you know, quite prolific in the 1911 and competition otherwise world, so people could make major power factor with it, right? So 38 Super, the old 38 Super, 38 Super plus P, however you want to label it, not to be confused with this. And look, guys, I hate to rain on your revolvers, guys, parade. But yes, Tula ammo right here. Now, I know it's 38 Super, guys. Don't confuse these two. They're totally different cartridges. But while we're talking about 38, yes, here's some Russian 38 Special. They make it. They've made it for years. This stuff actually comes in the country and helps account for some of the revolver ammo, too. 357 mag. Oh, yeah. So it's going to be across the board. Anything that happens with the Russian ammo, it's going to affect the rest of the stuff. Not to mention just everything skyrocketing in price. Trying to be a fan of this 38 Super. You know what? You're not going to have too much competition with that. JIL. Smash Time. How's it doing? How's it going, man? You know what? 762. Thanks for the super chat. I like to hold up ammo if you guys do an ammo super chat. What do you guys think? Good old Smash Time. Should we hold up the Rusty one to shout out Smash Time? What do you think? Is the Smash Time channel worthy of holding up an old Rusty round of 762 by 39? He's thinking, man, I thought we were friends. No, dude, of course we're friends. I've hung out with him a couple times in real life. He's a good dude, and we get along really well. So you know what I'm going to do for you, buddy? 762 by 54R. So thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. I wasn't going to give you the Rusty ammo. Come on, man. 762 by 54R. Oh, by the way, that's also the Russian caliber, guys. I bought a box of this today, too, before the stream. That's in my post on locals. Pop that back up there, Linda. Don't pop that back up there. I was just ripping on him a little bit. I want to read what he says here. I offered him the Rusty round of ammo. He's like, come on, man. He's from Texas, okay, Michigan, guys. I'm not going to cut him any slack whatsoever. Although we do get along very well. I'm still not going to cut him any slack. He says, let's see your forecasting. 1K rounds of steel, 762 by 39. Will be what price? April 1st of 2023. I have it right now, and I don't even need to think about it. So 50 boxes in a case, guys, 1,000 rounds. At $8 a box is 400 right now. So my guess is 800 bucks. There we go. 800 bucks in April 1st of 2023. Yeah. And here's the thing. It doubled once since the Flugaloo started. I'm just going to go with the good old-fashioned. It's going to double again. Now, right now, you guys are thinking, but hold on. You can get brass case 762 by 39 cheaper than 16 a box. Yes. But will you be able to get it for that price next year? I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And it might get to the point where would anybody truly pay $800 for it? Oh, maybe not. I don't know. But I do see, here's what will actually happen. Once there's no more, because we already know this, right? The former vice president has banned all of it. It's going to expire. Once those Form 6s expire, we're not going to get any more. So will he completely stop it before that? We don't know. Will he keep slapping? We'll call them sanctions. In the meantime, to get it up there, we don't know. So it could snuff out before those Form 6s are expired or just become so cost prohibitive. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm fairly comfortable with it. Now, here's the thing. What is the rest of the commodities going to do from now till then? Man, I hope things can somehow get better. I truly, truly do. But are they really going to get better? Is gas going to be cheaper a year from now than it is now? Is steel going to be cheaper? Is trucking going to be cheaper? Is the cost of wages that people are paying their employees going to be cheaper? The cost of doing business? Do you think they're going to lower taxes and give businesses a tax break so they can get more people back to work and lower their prices? Maybe someday, but probably not in the next year. I don't know. It's a pretty bold prediction, but Norinco ammo. You can go buy it still, like on aftermarket places, and you'll pay like way more than what it would be for modern brass ammo in many cases, because now it's been banned for so long it's collectible. So someday, after people haven't seen Russian ammo in a really, really long time, but they still really like to shoot steel-cased ammo, because I've said this before and I'll say it again. This is just my opinion. If I could have a box of brass 762 by 39 and a box of steel, and the caveat is, and I'm not allowed to sell it, because of course I just sell the brass box, keep the change, and buy a thing of steel as of right now. I'm not allowed to sell it. I have to shoot it. I'm going to take the steel case. Even though it's worth less, that's just kind of a win-win right now. Right now it's worth less. We'll see what happens later. I think that AKs were made for steel, and I think they shoot better on steel. SKS, same difference. Other guns as well. So there's going to be the people that just really want to keep shooting steel in their Kalash or their SKS. They're Mosin the gun, 54R. And they'll actually maybe pay the same as brass at a certain point. Some might pay a touch more, and then after it's been out of circulation so long, then the ammo collector market comes in. I mean, there is collectible ammo, guys. Look. I have made in 1943 original M1911 U.S. ball ammo. This was literally packed in World War II. Okay. at the Evansville plant, and I'm working on getting that video to you guys any day. It's just been a really, really busy week, guys. Sorry, not much content this week, but old Norinco ammo is somewhat collectible now. Russian ammo will become the same way. I'm going to say brass 7.62 by 39, probably a buck around a year from now. 20 a box, probably about 16 a box for Russian. That's where I'm at. Hope I'm wrong. Truly, truly hope I'm wrong more than any of you guys do, because I'm sure some of you guys buy more ammo than me. Some of you guys buy less ammo than me. Maybe I'm in the middle. I don't know. I don't know how much you guys buy, how much you guys shoot, but I like to do a good bit of shooting, and with that comes buying ammo. All right, here's this Barnall ammo. Let's take a quick look at this. I picked this up. This just went out of stock like literally a few days ago. But you guys that follow me on locals know this was available for like $7.85 or so a box up until just a few days ago. Free shipping. Free shipping. I have 2 boxes of Wolf sitting at the house. I didn't get a chance to go grab today because I've been up here working all day. Haven't been home yet. But I've got 2 boxes of Wolf and a free soft ammo carrier that I got. This is going to kind of remind you a little bit of the, what do they call them? This Max Tech. I keep wanting to call it Golden Tiger that I showed you guys earlier. But a little more subdued. This also has a lacquer. Makes it good for storage. It doesn't seem like they're quite as heavy on the lacquer with the Barnall as they are on the, you could call it Max Tech if it was older imported Red Army standard. Vimpel, you know, I'm trying to pronounce a Russian word with American pronunciation, but it kind of looks like Vimpel company, Golden Tiger. Man, 7.62 by 39. We're going to see a couple differences. We're not going to see that blatant, you know, sealant there on the primer or on the case neck. So there might be a clear sealant on here. I'd have to study this stuff a little closer, but just glancing at it, I don't really see any signs of that. Just the normal lacquer I would see. So probably for long-term storage, I put this somewhere in the middle between like a Tula ammo or Wolf Polyformance and that Max Tech Golden Tiger, whatever you want to call it. And I'm saying whatever because literally a lot of this is the same exact ammo, just put underneath a whole bunch of different names for import and for big box stores like the Herders ammo. At least last time I checked for years and years was Tula ammo. You take it out of the Herders box and it would say Tula ammo on the head stamp. And that's, you know, a house brand for Cabela's. Monarch, same thing. Monarch will be made by, maybe it's Barnall. I don't know. We don't have Monarch in this area. There's different big box stores throughout the country, though, that you guys definitely talk about. Now, here's where things get interesting. By the way, AR guys, look, I'm not going to have an AR versus AK debate tonight. It's fun, but I don't want to. And I'm not even going to have a debate. Hold on, guys. Come back, AR guys. I'm more of an AK guy. You guys know that. I'm not ashamed of that. And I just wouldn't lie to you. Come back, AR guys. I'm not going to rip on you. And I'm even going to acknowledge the fact that many and even most of you AR guys won't shoot this, won't let it near your gun. And that's fine with me. I don't care. But whether you guys do or not, there's a lot of AR guys that shoot this. Now, there's also 5.56 AKs. I'll shoot this all day long in my 5.56 AKs. And in my ARs, too. Dang it. Linda, tell them to come back. See, that's the problem. You tell somebody... And I would shoot this at my 5.56 AKs too, guys. Oh, they're already back. Cool. Welcome back. Whenever I say that, one person will leave. They'll say, this guy uses steel case in his AR. Yeah, actually. But look, it doesn't matter. Even if you guys don't use this in your AR, 20% of the U.S. market of ammo is coming from Russia. Now, I get it. It's not a 50-50 split. Clearly, more of the Russian ammo that's getting shot is in 7.62 by 39. That's like the most popular Russian cartridge in the U.S. Of course, there's 9 Makarov, 7.62 by 25, the Tokarev round. There's 5.45 by 39, 7.62 by 54R. And those are all brought in, too, under different various labelings of steel case from Russia. But that's not it. There's a lot of people shooting 9mm 223. 9mm 223, 38 special. I mean, believe it or not, 45 auto, ACP. Hold that thought. I'm actually going to call some people out on this. In 1 second, I'm going to have some fun. So you guys thought I was going to razz the AR guys. I'm not. I am going to razz all of you 1911 guys. So just hold that thought. All right. 308 Winchester. Okay. Shoot, I've been buying Tula ammo, Wolf, various different labelings of this. 308 and 7.62 by 54R for years, man. 30-06. Supply and demand. Wait till the prices shoot up on the Russian stuff and or it's no longer there anymore. It's going to affect, and I'm showing some of these on purpose because there's a lot of new shooters out there. And this channel is all about getting into the nitty gritty for people that have been into it as long as me or longer. But shout out to all you new people that have been watching the channel. And maybe there's one or two people watching that didn't know that the Russians shipped 308 to the U.S. Absolutely. Absolutely they do. And 38 special. And 223. So, yeah. Let me ask you guys in the chat. Does anyone have a problem? Does anyone have a problem with me calling out some of the 1911 folks? I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds here. I'm looking at the chat out of the corner of my eye. I saw Smash Time said, whoa, don't be talking about the 1911. He said, I pity the fool. Eat my cereal. Man, I used to love the A-Team. Do you guys remember that? It was in one of the Rocky movies. It was the Mr. T cereal. He was advertising for it. B.A. Baracus, Mr. T. And he said, I pity the fool. Eat my cereal. And he was holding up his Mr. T cereal. Okay. Anyways, I added all that onto his quote. All right. I like the 1911. I do. I really do. So come back, 1911, guys. I'm not ripping on the 1911. Okay. And I love brass cased ammo. I really, truly do. I mean, this AAC ammo, I totally love it. By the way, you guys looking for some good USA made brass ammo? This is the real deal. This is really good stuff. Okay. So hold on a minute. I just saw you. What's happening, Pillbox Bunker? He's like, hold on a minute. Don't give me no jibba jabba. You saw it. You know what I'm talking about. All right. The Dukes of Hazzard and the A-Team. Oh, yeah. I was raised in the 80s. Okay. So hold on. I'm not going to rip on the 45 ACP. By the way, I love my Pro 2A Tactical AR-45. 16.5-inch barrel. Are you kidding me? So I'm not actually going to rip on the ammo at all. And I'm not going to rip on the 1911 at all. But here's what I am going to call out. Just saying. So I've talked to a lot of people before. 45 auto steel case. And they've said, no, I would never let that in my 1911. And I'm like, well, why not? Come on, man. Dude, the 1911's an American gun. It deserves brass case. And I'm like, all right, cool. Now, there's many foreign-made 1911s too, but I get it. M1911. And I said, yeah, it's an American icon of American history. And usually then the 1911 guy will come back and say, 2 world wars. And I'm like, well, absolutely. The heritage, the blood, sweat, and tears and grit of 2 world wars with the 1911. I would never make fun of that. Clearly, America's greatest generation, World War II. Are you kidding me? Awesome. That's not the joke. I'm being serious, guys. That's not the joke. And I'll say, come on, man. 2 world wars? Try some of this here. You know, it's kind of like, you guys know what I'm saying. I don't drink. I don't do drugs, but I've been known to, you know, kind of tempt people here and there. You know, sometimes people say, here, you know, come on over here. And I'm like, no, that's not for me. You guys do you. But I do it with ammunition. I'll say, come over here real quick. Here. Just a little bit. Just try it a little bit once. No. Steel cased ammo cannot go through the 1911 no matter what because of 2 world wars and America. And I'm like, okay, but here's the problem. Because see, in World War II, they had commodity shortages. And they actually were running short on things like copper. Hold on. Fast forward. Anybody in the construction trades? If you have a house built in World War II, there's a chance. Now, you've probably updated it since, or it's burned down. But there's a chance you could have the old aluminum wiring in your house. Because they were so short on copper, they weren't wiring houses with copper. It was all commandeered for the war effort. You would also see the steel penny in a couple years in the 1940s during World War II. And actually, it's called Bullets by the Billion. I talked about this on Locals. It's a book that was written about the Chrysler Corporation that made over 3.2 billion rounds of 45 ACP in World War II that's actually steel cased. Did you guys know that? This is steel cased ammo right here. Check this out. This is a small little magnet. with a plated, coated, not even really plated, more like washed jacket. This is sticking to the steel jacket of the case, and this is going right through the cardboard to stick to the steel cased ammo. And this is literally USGI. Did you guys know that? Hopefully that wasn't a long, boring story. It's a funny story because I've literally, in a friendly way, we were friends afterwards. But this is YouTube, so I probably lost at least one friend making a joke. But it's true. A lot of guys have said over the years, I wouldn't let steel case in my 1911 just due to America and 2 world wars. But little did they know that there was brass case too, but the vast majority over, they made billions, 3.2 billion rounds. This was at the Evansville factory. They would also work with more of a subcontractor, the Sunbeam Corporation. Yeah, like literally. Auto manufacturer. Sunbeam, who was making refrigerators and many other things back then. Sunbeam was basically just right across town, practically across the street from Evansville back in the 1940s, from the Evansville Chrysler plant. And this is steel-cased ammo. It's actually just as steel-cased, believe it or not, as this Russian ammo is steel-cased. So it's not just 7.62 by 39. And it's actually not just Russia that used steel-cased ammo. So was that okay, 1911, guys? I asked you guys' permission if I could call some of you out. But, of course, not by name, and I wasn't truly calling you out. But boy, one time, though, this is YouTube, so you get all kinds of comments. One time, so I had a couple SDS imports 1911s. I still have them, one in 9mm, one in 45, and I took them out to the range. And I said, let's see if it'll fire some steel case. And I did. And oh boy, there was some people hollering at me. Oh boy, they said, you put steel case to a 1911? Like, that ain't even cool. And I'm like, well, why not? What's wrong? Those guns can't shoot steel case, and it's sacrilegious. And said some version of because America and 2 world wars. I'm condensing 10 comments into one. But yeah, man, I had some people take a big run at me that I would dare shoot steel case. We made it through World War II with it, though. 3.2 billion rounds. Can you guys believe that? I'm going to give a little history and show you guys an unboxing of some of that old ammo here very soon. All right. Let's take a look at some other stuff right now. I still have quite a bit of ammo. I'm just trying to organize it a little bit. Do I have any chats I need to catch up on, Linda? Let me know if I do while I'm sorting through my ammo. 7.62 by 39. Here's some brass cased. And this is basically the same exact stuff, but this is under Gecko. You'll see it more commonly today under the Norma brand. Now, Gecko, Norma, I basically repeat myself because these are both companies that are part of the RUAG conglomerate, right? Being bought out recently by Beretta. So this is a big European ammo conglomerate. You're going to see brands such as like MFS. Some of it literally says RUAG, Gecko. Norma is probably the brand you've heard of the most. Some of it could be made in Sweden. Some of it could be made in Hungary. Just depends on the loading. Depends on all kinds of things, right? All right. Thanks, Linda. Thank you, darling. I always appreciate you. Norma right now. Again, same post I keep referring to. If you want to drop that in the chat for the people that just joined my newest locals post, I just picked up some Norma brass case, 7.62 by 39 for like $9.68, which ain't bad. It's only like $1 more than steel. I don't know how long they're going to be a holdout at that price because that's actually like super, super cheap. That's like $2 cheaper than almost anywhere else, just to let you guys know. But I know where it's at, and you guys can know too. Seriously, guys, locals is totally free to join. This is not like some scam where I'm like, you got to go over there and pay me per month. I just can't leave links and talk about that stuff here. But this is a brass cased offering. So there are some other ones right now that are on the market. And there's certainly some more weird brands I haven't heard of, like that Balam. I don't really know how to pronounce it. It's kind of a newer company, right? On the market. And this is good ammo. And I bought it. I'm glad I have it. But I don't really usually buy a lot of brass case 7.62 by 39 because, well, I prefer to shoot steel case. Here's an example of this. This is just under another one of their house brands, if you will. This is called Gecko that I'm showing here. A week from now, I'll be able to show you guys the Norma because I just ordered some right before the stream went live, but same difference, guys. Gecko head stamp on this. It'll probably say Norma, but they were both part of the same company back when I bought this ammo, probably 2-3 years ago. So there's an option. All right. Brands I haven't really heard of much. Oh, by the way, people ask me this all the time. This stuff isn't cheap, but this is what I carry in a lot of my 9mm. This is 124 grain HST. 124 grain 9mm Luger plus P. They'll sell this in standard pressure and plus P. I don't know. Is there any such thing as the best defensive ammo? I don't know. But this Spear Gold Dot, you're not going to go wrong. Been using it for years. Been carrying my GX4 Toro a lot. My GX4 Toro. There's certain ones that are made for short barrels, you know. But a lot of times I just don't have the time, money, or patience to buy 100 different types of ammo for 100 different guns. But you guys can make your own choices, and I suggest you always do. But I've always thought the Federal HST was a really good, solid defense round. You could tinker around with different grain weights, 147. They used to make 147 plus P HST. I haven't seen that for sale for a few years now. You're certainly going to be able to find the 124s in standard and plus pressure, and 147 in the standard pressure. It might be a little difficult to find, and be prepared to pay $1 or more around, you know, minimum. That's if you're doing good. Here's some weird brands coming out. In fact, the title of that locals post is SARS Lamaz ammo deal. Yeah, SARS Lamaz. You know, like SAR guns, the SAR 9, the SAR B6P, many more. Yeah, they're bringing an ammo under their name now from Turkey. That's literally the headline of that post. And I did get some of that. There's a ZSR out of Turkey. I also bought a couple boxes of that to try out. Here's another one that I've seen lately. A lot of this stuff is all linked in the that locals post. And I'll make a new post over the weekend to add a few more of these if you guys are curious, but it'll give you a good start. DRZ. Have you guys even heard of DRZ before? I mean, I've heard of them, like, to a point, because I have some right here. But I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of that in the United States because, you know, you take Russia, huge player in stocking up ammo in the United States, and they're gone. They're going to be gone, right? How about Talons, Adam Long saying? Well, look, you can still get basically a black Talon under a Ranger T. So there you go. Think about it. Black Talon, Ranger T. There's a loophole for you guys. Black Talon, Teflon coating. Look, the Teflon coating helped it up the feed ramp. May or may not help with that. But it got banned because the Teflon made it so. Look, I'm not saying it's a crappy round. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it was a bunch of BS that they needed to ban it because the Teflon made it like compromised Kevlar supposedly and stuff. That's actually not true. Okay. But they banned it. But if you're still looking for black Talon ammo and you really liked it and can't find it anymore, look up Ranger T, it's called. Did I get that right, Mateo? I see you and Red are talking about the, you know, you've got the B6, the compact, the subcompact, B6P and polymer, right? I think that's what the P stands for. Black Talons. How you guys doing? I'm looking here real quick. Washburn Billy says, I still owe this guy lunch. Someday we'll catch up, dude. What's happening, Joe Picetti? How you doing, man? BHO. I'm not familiar, Mountain View. The site that I recommend over on locals, this is like $16.40 for this. And the SARS Lamaz is $15.99 a box. So you're only at like $1 more than the cheapest price steel cased anyways. I like to buy a little steel case 9 still here and there because, I don't know, I just like to test it out of guns. There's something I kind of like about it. I like how the Russian powder smells a little more too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's different grain weights for different calibers, and they all serve a purpose. Just to say across the board that one grain is better than another grain, it depends what you use it for. You know what I'm saying? Just depends what you're using it for, really. I will also tell you guys, same thing. I just posted this to locals recently. This stuff's pretty cool. It might not be for everybody, but I like it. I'm going to show you guys another type of ammo. Wait, hold on. Hold that thought. Here's another really obscure 9mm I almost forgot about. So DRZ, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to shoot it yet, but I bought a couple boxes. Here's one. This box got a little bit beat up because I dropped it, but Okursan, Ozkursan, Ozkursan, Ozkursan. Have you guys even heard of this? This stuff's coming in the country now. Ozkursan. And this stuff is like so foreign from Turkey. They spell Turkey the foreign way. You notice how some stuff will say made in Turkey, Turkey. This is so foreign, it says made in Turkiye. So they're spelling it actually the way the Turks do. And all of the writings in Turkish. Like they barely have any U.S. translation on this whatsoever. Never heard of this stuff in my life till recently, so I picked up a box and see, when they use that spelling of Turkey, you know that's the extra most foreignest type of Turkish. Because they're not even willing to change their name to the American spelling. It's always been weird, hasn't it? Turkey spells Turkey different over there than we do. I don't know. I've always thought it was a little bit weird. Like, if it's their country and that's what it's called, why don't we just spell it how they spell it? But we don't. All right. Black Aces Tactical. This is some stuff that I really, really like. And there's a small caveat, but as soon as you know what the caveat is, I think this is the best bang for the buck. And I have a recent post on locals with this exact stuff. Not the one that I gave you earlier, Linda, but another one. Just go over to my locals community and scroll. This stuff is awesome. And this is double-aught buck, 12 gauge. And I'm trying to remain positive, guys. There's some stuff to look forward to. You know, that's what half of this stream's been about. Yeah, there's doom and gloom, and I know prices are going up. But some of this stuff, like I'm looking forward to this Turkish ammo. This stuff. It's available right now, unless it's sold out sometime during this stream. Made by Cleaver in Italy. Brought in by Black Aces Tactical. And I look forward to running quite a bit of this because it's actually like a pretty darn powerful 2 3/4 inch kind of 12 gauge load. I don't mean it's kind of 12 gauge. It's definitely 12 gauge, but it's kind of sort of 2 3/4 inch. I'll show you that in 1 second. But look at the powder column on this thing. Look at that. Look how tall the brass is. Brass air quotes. It's actually a nickel-plated steel. Plastic hull. I'm fine with it being nickel-plated. Actually, the nickel plating is the same thing they put on very expensive self-defense ammo like HST and many others. And that aids in lubricity. So if any type of, contact this could be making within a box-style magazine, because I have quite a few that shoot either, the Kalashnikov Sega style or the MK 1919 style mags. There's a couple different styles of mags that most fit into for semi-auto box fed. It's got the lubricity of the nickel plating, but it's steel. I don't reload shotgun shells. And even if you did reload, let me know if any of you guys reload shotgun. Does it even matter what this is made out of? I don't know. But I don't reload shotgun, so I don't really care. This is 1 1/5 ounce, 1,425 foot per second, 9 pellet, double-aught buck. And it's labeled as 2 3/4. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Those of you on locals, sorry to bore you guys. I'll make it quick. I talked about this on my local stream just last weekend. But there's probably people here that I don't know why not, but haven't gone over there to check out all the content I do there. So here is some of the Suprema. I got the box over there. You guys might remember this stuff. They used to sell it cheap at Walmart. Suprema, double-aught buck, 9 pellet, 12 gauge. 2 3/4 inch, right? I can't remember the exact foot per second on this, but I know it's slower than 1425 for sure. I want to say this might be around 1,300 foot per second, but check it out. This is a 2 3/4 inch. Look at our available powder column there. I can kind of see the wad. It's kind of transparent. Now look at this. You're going to see a drastic difference. And you're going to see two differences, both in overall length Also in powder column, and also like literally when you shoulder this stuff and shoot it, this clearly has more power than this 9 pellet double aught buckshot, and it's not even close. Like literally not even close. In fact, here's how I would kind of look at this. I'd almost look at this like 3-inch Magnum, 9 pellet double aught buck, but for like 2 3/4 price, and actually cheaper than most 2 3/4. This stuff's cheap. Like $149 for a 250 round case. I've got all the details over on my locals. I'll make an updated post for that if you guys need it, but I just posted it 2 or 3 days. Just go over there and scroll down. But now, there's no free lunch. Here's a potential downside to this. If you have a gun, most likely an older 12 gauge, because most of them now just come chambered in 2 3/4 or 3-inch. If it's chambered in 2 3/4 inch, this might not. I'm going to emphasize might, because it might also. This might not chamber because it is a little bit longer OAL than a standard 2 3/4 inch shell. And you can see this being a crimped hull here, this hull not being crimped using a disc to keep the shot in place. So there's a couple different ways this can be done. This is using a disc to hold it in, right? This being crimped. So if you have a 3-inch chamber, this should not be a problem whatsoever. If you have a strict 2 3/4 inch chamber, this might not feed. But the power of this, like if you're trying to cycle, there's a lot of cheap Turkish shotguns out there. Maybe they're AK style. Maybe they kind of look like an AR. Maybe they're a bullpup. You guys know they're plentiful. They're cheap. The Turkish shotguns, right? Well, now get ready for all the Turkish ammo because that's coming over like crazy lately. They like a high brass load. They like a powerful, high recoiling load to break them in because they often come like maybe manufacturing tolerances are less than completely stellar, if you know what I mean. Stuff needs to kind of break in a little bit. Real heavy springs that need to relax and break in a little bit. If you have something where, and it's a true story, this Suprema, it's not a bad buckshot. This stuff was cheap for years until Walmart stopped selling it. Now I don't know what this costs or where to get it, but remember, Walmart used to be the cheap place to get all kinds of ammo. I've had a couple Turkish shotguns that this wasn't cycling it out of the box. You put this stuff in there, this is powerful. Your shoulder will tell you. I mean, it's a very, very stout load, so don't underestimate that. Here's another potential downside. Now, if you have a box magazine, you don't care. As long as it's rated for 2 3/4 or 3-inch, it's going to fit in the magazine. Plenty of room. If you have a tube-fed mag, in many cases, and even most likely with many offerings, they're going to rate the capacity of the tube for 2 3/4 inch. Especially, obviously, if the gun's chambered for only 2 3/4. But even if your shotgun's chambered for 3-inch, they still, for marketing, like to say magazine tube capacity of 5, asterisk, and it's in the fine print. You usually don't see it right away, 2 3/4. That's not the case with all of these. Like everything with guns, there's a million variables. So, but in some cases, it'll say, well, it holds 5+1 in the tube, where they line up on top of each other. You might only be able to fit 4 of these, but no different than you'd only be able to fit 4 if they were 3-inchers. So I'm going to pull out a 3 and show you the difference. So 2 3/4, Suprema, 9 pellet buckshot, Black Aces Tactical buckshot. Here's a Remington number 6. Okay. Number 6, 2 3/4. Small game shot. I'll put this next to the Suprema. You can see they're about dead nuts even. And then bam. Look at the difference though. Look at the difference here in the brass versus the steel here versus the nickel plated steel here. Look at the difference in height. Big difference. This buck's got a little bit more than this small game number 6. And then there's the... All right, now let me grab a 3-incher just so you guys can see the complete comparison. And you can decide if this is for you or not. It's weird. Look, it's labeled 2 3/4 inch. I'd look at it more like a 3-inch light, or you could look at it like a 2 3/4 plus, because it literally sits right in between. And as far as the felt recoil and the ability it has to cycle like semi-autos that need broken in, I'd put it right up there near most 3-inch ammo that I've shot. Some of you guys that have shot this on Black Aces can let me know. And they also have it in slugs too. I've shared that on locals recently. Also slugs. Those cost a little bit more, but still very fair. This is a this is a slug, but it's still going to show us the OAL. I couldn't find any 3-inch buckshot real quick here right before the stream, but this is a Magnum rifled slug, Federal. Okay, 1,600 foot per second. It's a slug, though, keep in mind, not shot as far as the foot per second goes, but we can still look at the overall length, just to give you guys a comparison. So we have the Federal 3-inch here. We have the so-called 2 3/4, the 2 3/4 plus here with the black aces. Here's the Suprema buck, and it literally kind of splits the difference. Can you guys get a good height perception of that? So there you go. Hopefully that answers any of the questions you guys had about this hammer. Whether it's the right solution for you, you'll decide. Could it decrease your capacity in some tubular fed devices? Sure. Would it maybe not feed in some 2 3/4 inch chambered guns? Maybe not. But I will tell you this for a fact, though, too. This stuff has some thump to it. It's got some power to it. When you shoot it, it does not feel like this Suprema buckshot, and it certainly doesn't feel anything even close to the number 6 or number 8 or number 7.5 that you guys might shoot. So I think it's kind of a bargain in the barn, to be honest with you. I kind of look at it as like a 3-inch Magnum-ish, because it's just that far off of a Magnum, a 3-inch Magnum, but you're paying 2 3/4 inch price. In fact, cheaper than many and most 3/4 inch buckshot out there, to be quite frank about it. I mean, 10 boxes, 115 bucks, 150 bucks. I'm sorry. That's like 15 bucks a box for a 25 count. Look, this is 25 count. This isn't one of those 10 count boxes like they sell. I thought it said 25 somewhere. Yeah, right here. 25 plastic shot shells. I don't reload shot shells, so I could care less that the brass is actually nickel-plated steel. All right, let me take a peek at the chat here. And then I had a short list of some guns that I'm kind of looking forward to this year. And a couple I already kind of have, and I'm getting to know better. So there's some stuff that's kind of interesting in me. And where I think ammo is on its way up, select guns might still be on their way up, but I think a lot of guns might be on their way down for a little while here. Is that going to last forever? I don't know. I mean, look, I ain't forecasting this. I'm going to talk about some fun guns for a few minutes here before I get off tonight, guys. Time flies, by the way. Man, it's been good hanging out with you guys, but it's been an hour and 20 minutes already. Well, yeah, because I've been having a good time. I thought I'd been on here like 20, 30 minutes. Like, okay. I talked about ammo quite a bit. I have a couple more boxes over here. Geez, I don't want to end this stream in 20 minutes. And then I looked up and I'm like, oh, I've been on an hour and 20 minutes. So thank you guys for hanging out. And I know a lot of you guys have been getting these this week and some other random stuff. And these. I don't have enough to give to everybody, guys, but I reached out, sent it to supporters, sent it to some non-supporters. Some people were just real polite and asked for one. So I know some of you guys have been getting these in, and I know you guys appreciate it. So you're welcome. And thank you for just hanging out and being you. And literally, I mean what I say when I'm like, thank you so much. Like the way you guys all support the channel. Obviously, like super chats tonight. Yeah, that helps buy ammo and stuff. Thank you so much to all the Patreon supporters. Thank you so much to the channel members, people that support on locals. And some of you guys are like, yeah, but he just sent me a magazine and a card and I've never given him a penny, like no tangible money. I know, because you guys have been supporting me too, just by being here and hanging out and being my friend and trying to have fun when we can have fun and trying to get through all this BS together. So thank you all so much. And we'll hook up as many of you guys as we can in the future. But I was glad to see a lot of you guys saying, thanks for, you sent us something. Shout out to Linda because she actually sent it. But I don't know, guys. I think some gun prices are looking good, okay? And don't do a gotcha on me when they go up next week or next month. Look, I hope. Okay, let me say this another way because I'm trying to be I am in a good mood. You know why? Let's go, Brandon. The former vice president always puts me in a good mood, of course. And Susan Wiki truly puts a smile on my face. But no, here's the deal, guys. I hope so bad I'm wrong, but I think ammo's going up. And it sucks. And in this case, I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right, but I can't prove it. I think some guns are coming down. Now, my friend Marksman TV did a video, and he said, guys, I think guns are obviously starting to come down. And he's a really, really smart guy. And I'm citing him as one of my sources for this. I think guns are coming down for the most part. Not all of them. There's always some rare collectible. So, yeah, I'm citing my source. Chris from Marksman TV said that. But I'm not just straight up copying him either, because I believe the same thing. I've noticed the same thing. Now, that's unless, look, if we need a $10 billion bill next year to buy a loaf of bread, well, then in that case, no, they're not. I'm not joking, guys. This is real, just so you know. The $10 billion bill. I've been showing this for 2 years. I mean, I've been literally, ask my friend Band Talk. He'll be my witness on this, because I know Band Talk's he's more of a fiscally astute guy than I am. I'm just calling a spade a spade. He'll talk about money matters and economy matters with much more eloquence than I do. But ask Band Talk. He'll tell you, I was talking about hyperinflation in the Zimbabwe note back way before talking about inflation was cool. In fact, Trump was coming in here saying, I will be the most pro-gun president of all time. Then he banned the Molot Vepers. Then he banned the bump stocks. So I've been talking about hyperinflation and holding this thing up way before it was cool. So trust me, anything's possible. Anything's possible, guys. I think guns are coming down in price a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So here's a couple that I really like right now. Let's talk about Taurus. The GX4. I need to do some more videos, guys, for you. But a lot of the shooting I do is totally off camera, because a lot of it is in like a very, I don't want to say haphazard, because that may make it sound unsafe. It's just in a very rushed. Like, it's safe, but like by the seat of my pants, meaning I'll be mowing somebody's lawn, and I do have literally, God bless them, a few customers that after I'm done mowing the lawn, I can shoot on the property. So I have a lady out in Howell, been cutting there for years, and I can shoot on her property. Now, if it gets dark at 9:15 p.m., I might be done mowing the lawn at 9, get on the mower, pull it up to my truck, grab a couple guns, grab a couple boxes of ammo, go out back behind the barn, plow, real safely shoot, come back. It's too dark to safely shoot at that point. Then with a flashlight, blow the grass clippings off my mower. That's actually how I do a lot of my shooting. Just a little bit here and there where I've got 20 minutes to shoot. I've got 7 minutes to shoot, so I don't have time to get all the camera out there. So a lot of these reviews I do behind the scenes and just tell you guys. And man, the Taurus GX4, I love it. Well, if you're into optics and you're into micro optics, you know, slide mounted optics, like say the Holosun HE407K, which is what I'm running, the green dot. Awesome. Literally so much value in that. But if you're not into optics, that's actually totally fine with me too. I don't really care. I'm not one way or another. I'm just kind of trying to get used to them on the GX4 because it's such a small gun otherwise. Even with the optic, it's still not unwieldy. You know what I'm saying? So just the GX4 period, though. The optics are not. Look, it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. You do you. But what a great little pistol. It handles recoil so well for how small it is. And that's not by mistake. The thing literally rides on a stainless steel chassis, guys. High polished, nickel plated, stainless steel chassis. Long, generous rails inside of it. It's not just a shrunk down version of the G3C. And when I say that, that's not an insult to the G3C at all. Like, obviously, love the G3C. But it's not that. It's not just, okay, they changed something slight. No, it's actually a whole new design gun from Taurus. And I'm really, really liking the GX4 a lot. Looks like some of you guys got some copies. Joe Pachetti, what's happening, man? He likes his. He got his copy of his book. I think I saw Randy Adams a minute ago out of the corner of my eye. What about you, Band Talk? I know you're a little incognito. He's a hard man to get to, but I know people. I think I was able to track him down. So, did you get a package yet? If not, I'd be expecting it any day because Linda 2A EDU's #1 fan. Look, here's the thing, Band Talk. Look, I know it's a matter of pride. You can't find where Band Talk's at. He's literally one of the hardest people to find in the whole world, and I couldn't find you in a million years. I truly couldn't. So, job well done. Linda 2A EDU's #1 fan, she found you, so I think you've got something on the way. Anyways, the GX4, I'm loving it a lot. I think there's tons and tons of value. So that's something I'm excited about for the year. That didn't just come out, but it's something a lot of us can afford. So let me know. I read all these comments afterwards, by the way, guys. So let me know. Any of you into the GX4? How are you liking it? And of course, it's not a 22, but it's not a 44 Magnum either. But for a 9mm, for a small little 9mm, what do you guys think? Do you agree with me that it actually handles quite well? So a signed Tula card is worth its weight in gold, and put it away in your personal collection. Well, thanks, man. And you know what I'm saying? Just like this. Somebody could say, well, silver's $26 an ounce. Say that's what it is right now. I don't know. No, with this being an actual real piece of currency, I don't know what this is worth. I'm going to make a number up. Let's say this was worth $50 because it's a Libertad. I might not be too far off. I don't know. But what if somebody said, it's worth $50? Let's just pretend it is, because it might be worth 100. It might be worth less. I don't know. I don't care. Someone said, dude, it's worth $50. I'll give you 100 for it. I'm like, you know what? Let me go grab another one. But this one, no, it's not for sale, because yes, it has some value to it, but this was given to me by a good friend. So therefore, it's kind of sort of just not for sale. Therefore, it's priceless, right? So there you go. Now these, somebody said you can sell these on eBay. I don't know. Once I find out how to sell these on eBay, guys, you're never going to see me again. Because, well, I'm not in on it for the money, for the channel. I'm not. Seriously, I cut grass to feed my family. If, though, every man has his temptation point. These are worth $30 a piece on eBay. This is literally what someone said in the last week's stream. Then I might become about the money and just disappear and stop cutting grass and just sell these all day. But I don't think so. I'm having a lot of fun with the Taurus GX4. Another one that I think is pretty sweet that I've literally wanted for like 2 years, and I can prove it if you go back to my old YouTube videos, is the G3XL, which is literally no different than what I did in my video 2 years ago. G3C frame, G3 slide, barrel, basically completed slide, slapper on the G3C frame. There you go. So I think that's a really cool concept. I like the G3X too. I do. Different strokes for different folks. I like it. It has its place out of the two. I'm a little more excited about the G3XL because that's literally the gun that I put together myself, like hoping, you know. Yep, everybody has a price. See, Dan Dude 2010, everybody has a price. Now, I'm not going to sell out on you guys. Unless, of course, I can get in the autograph trading card business. You guys will see me at your local mall signing autographs for, you're like, yeah, right. He's not going anywhere. They're like, we'll be seeing him on here every Friday. No one's going to. No, that's what a viewer said. It's kind of, it's not an inside joke because everyone that was in the chat could see it. Somebody last week said, you can sell those for $30 on eBay. I thought it was funny. But no, I'm excited about the Taurus G3XL. What about you guys? Because while all of those X-type frames, they have a purpose. Again, to each his own. If I had to pick, I'd rather the slide and grip frame be kind of in proportion to themselves, or have the slide be longer in proportion to the frame. And that's what the G3XL is. Now, I can sit there and say, yeah, but I really still like the G3X, and I do, because here's why. I haven't found any of these modern Taurus G series I don't like, because they all have the same general shape, and they literally fit my hand like a glove. Like, if I was rich and could afford to have, like, a whole bunch of, like, minions, like, work, like, deleteriously to make me my own gun, that's how it would come out. But since I'm not royalty and never will have like a factory designated to make me a gun, I got really, really lucky. So look, all of the G series, if it's the G2C, if it's the G3C, if it's the G3, G3X, G3XL, they all feel wonderful in my hands. So I do like all of them, truly. And I really just want to go out there and just kind of shoot the G2C again. Why? Well, the G3C has a better trigger, in my opinion. It just does. And so does the G3, but there's something about that original G2C. The first one I ever showed on this channel, I just like to shoot it. So I think I'm going to bring that out again next time I go to the range, just to have some fun. Of course, do some more shooting with the GX4, and also feels excellent in my hand. But I was just kind of thinking about it. I'm like, you know, I never forgot about the G2C, but with the newer guns, people are more interested in talking about those a little more lately, and they do. They just have a better trigger. I think no matter how you look at it, I think we could all probably agree. Maybe not all of us, but for the most part. But man, I still like the G2C though. I really, really do. All right, another gun that I'm just starting to get a little bit familiar with, and boy, oh boy, do I like it. And I'm very, very shocked. And that's the PSA Dagger. I've talked about it a lot on locals, not as much on here. So sorry, locals, guys. I'll talk about something maybe a little different tomorrow. By the way, I'll be doing my live stream on locals tomorrow, every Saturday night. I'll do it free for all the free members too, because you guys can go over to locals and be a free member and still help support the channel totally for free. I promise. It's a win-win. So I'll be over there. But the Dagger, man, oh man. Because here's the thing, guys. I'm not really a Glock person. Do I hate Glock? Of course not. I have a couple OEM Glocks and I've had them for years. I don't hate. You do you. I'll do me. Look, you do your Glock. I'll do my Taurus. And that's still true, actually. But I'll tell you what, the Dagger, the PSA Dagger, I really, really like it a lot. And it's kind of like, well, do I like it just for the money? No, I actually just like it, period. And I actually like, for me personally, I like shooting it better than an OEM Glock, period. If money was no option. But then when you look at it being like about half, maybe not quite half, but 35, 40% cheaper than an OEM Glock, well, that's like a huge win-win, and that makes me even like it more. But I'll tell you what, guys, literally, like, I'm really, really liking that pistol a lot. Now, I own 1.5 daggers right now. Yeah, I bought another frame. So I've got one that's complete, and then I ordered one of those frames, which, like, again, go over to my locals. I post them all the time there. Right now, there's a crazy deal on them, like $99 free shipping for a complete frame. It's like, really? Just what's called the LPK alone usually costs that much. Anyways, I really, really like it. And this might be the reason some of you don't like it as much. So here's the deal. If you like how a Glock fits your hand 100% perfectly and nothing else will do, like the only thing that fits good in your hand is a Glock 19, 17. Well, there's a name for you. You're called a Glocktard. And I mean that totally affectionately, but somebody chime in. Help me out, Mateo. That's the name, right? When only a Glock fits in your hand and every other gun in the world sucks but that's what you're called. Okay. Shout out to all of you guys. I love all the Glocktards. But with that aside, if you love how a Glock fits perfectly, you might not like how the Dagger fits in your hand as much, because it does have a totally different feel, in my opinion. Now, if you don't like how the Glock fits quite so much in your hand, you might want to try a Dagger and see if you can get your hands on one to shoot one, okay? The Dagger is a firearm by Palmetto State Armory that is compatible with Gen 3 Glock parts. That's a good way to word it. Is it fair to call it a Glock clone? No, and that's not the terminology they use. It's a 9mm pistol that takes Gen 3 Glock parts, okay? Every part from a Gen 3 Glock will fit the Dagger, period, end of story, down to even the smallest of parts. All right. But it's not, and then there's a company called P80. Do you like how I worded that, Susan? Susan Wiki. How's it going, Susan? P80. That's another firearm that takes Gen 3 Glock parts. This is different than both of them in a couple ways. First of all, I like the grip texturing quite a bit. The texturing reminds me actually a lot of the Taurus TX22. Actually, a lot about how that thing fits in my hand. Kind of reminds me of the Taurus TX22, except for the humps lower on the Dagger. Therefore, it fits my hand better than the Taurus. Love the Taurus TX22. The hump's a little high for me. There's other little things about it, like the back strap. The back strap portion of the grip frame, they bevel it in a little bit. Just makes me be able to reach right in there. The sides of the magazine well, and I can show you all this on locals. I can't here. There's old streams, though. If you guys sign up for locals tonight, you can go back and watch previous streams on there. Once in a while, I do special ones for supporters, but almost all of them are for everybody. In the middle part where it contacts your hand here, it kind of swells out a little bit, but then it tapers up real nicely where you're choking up on the gun. Nice beaver tail. It's budget. It's super, super budget. If you like PSA's ARs, because you think you get a lot of value for the money. I know all of you guys don't like their ARs. I'm not telling you to. But if you do and you're like, man, it was some really good bang for the buck, you're going to find in the equivalency of the Glock world similar pistols, you're going to find the same value in these daggers. I mean, like $299 for a whole complete unit. You can just go up to like $350 for like RMR cut, threaded barrel. I mean, you can get loaded ones out for like less than $400 that come with window cut slides and Cerakote slides, and like guns that previously would have cost you like almost $1,000 to build your gun up to, you can buy like out the door for less than $400. It's kind of like almost seems too good to be true. And you know, I'll keep you guys in the loop as time goes on. I've not put 1,000,000 rounds through one, but I was able to shoot it as much as I wanted when I was in South Carolina, and I really like it. Is it move over Taurus? No. Like, I still actually think the Tauruses fit my hand better. It's going to be pretty tough for anything to fit my hand better than the Taurus G series, but man, it's really caught my attention lately, and I'm liking it a lot. So that's something I'm excited about this year. Just doing some more tinkering, because it's the whole thing like with Glock Gen 3s and ARs. It's like adult Legos where we can swap stuff back and forth and try different, you know, configurations and all that. So lots of fun there. And another one actually from PSA. And look, guys, I know they announced it technically 2 SHOT Shows ago, but the Jackal. It's really close. It's really, really close. It's called an NDA. It's called a non-disclosure agreement, but I know stuff right now that I can't talk about yet, but I'm trying to hook you guys up as much as I possibly can. And the smile's on my face because I was literally talking to somebody that's in the know. I was talking to a very, very close source about the Jackal. And I'm smiling because of what I was told. And I'll tell you guys, it's really, really close, okay? So there you go. The Jackal's a cool gun. I did a review of it on my YouTube channel. Suits just did a review. Suits was my cameraman for my Jackal video. And now you guys are going to think I copied off him, because he has way more subs than me. He is a nice guy. Look, my cameraman couldn't come. He wanted to. He's a good friend of mine. He was in the chat earlier tonight. But look, I went down there by myself. I didn't have a cameraman. So Such was down there hanging out, and I was like, will somebody please record for me? He recorded for me, which was really nice. I did my review first, okay? And I said, this is smooth. And then Such does his review, and he goes, Jackal, this is smooth. Now, I don't think he heard me say that, because he was probably just off to the side talking to other people the first time I said it. But when he was recording me, I don't know. I'm not saying he copied off me, but I didn't copy off him either. I promise you. I did my video first. No, both of us said the same thing, though. I'm trying to make a joke here. We both said it's smooth. It is. Will you AK guys love it? I don't know, because it's still not quite an AK. Will you AR guys love it? I don't know. It's not quite an AR. So I guess here's how I'm going to look at it. The AR guy that's like, you know, there's some stuff I like about the AK, but I like more of the ergonomics of the lower, you know, the way the safety selector works and the way the mag release works, stuff like that. But you like the idea of kind of how the AK works, you're going to love the Jackal. I'm telling you straight up. Maybe some of you AK guys are like, you know what? I like the AK because it's a gas gun, long stroke gas piston. But I kind of don't mind the AR ergos a little more. You're going to love it. So here's the thing. If you're an AK guy and you hate the AR, you ain't going to like this. Or vice versa. If you're an AR guy and you hate everything about the AK, you ain't going to like it either. But if you've got a little preference and you're kind of like, well, I like kind of this part of this and that, I think a lot of you really, really might like this gun. And it might be the kind of thing where, look, there's 3 scenarios of people out there. There's the ones that just aren't going to like the Jackal, and that's fine. I don't care. I don't work for PSA. Why would I care? But then there's going to be the other people that are like, you know what? It's cool, but I just think I'd rather just stick to the AK or AR exclusively. And then there's other people like to dabble in both. Maybe you're an AK guy like me, but you also have plenty of ARs. You may also like the Jackal because it takes an AR lower. Okay, regular AR lower, Stanag Magwell. It's going to take all of your PMags, your DNH, your mil spec, whatever. You know, that's cool. The controls are going to be what you're used to. Now, here's where it's like an AK, though. It's a long stroke gas piston with the bolt carrier being about this far off of being an AK carrier, okay, guys? Not exactly, but not too far off. But then the bolt itself kind of goes back to a slightly different, but more of an AR type bolt and an AK carrier, and it actually rides and reciprocates back and forth on rails with that carrier back here and then that long stroke gas piston. Think AK. So a lot of people have looked at the downsides of the AR is it poops where it eats. And it does, if you think about it. The direct gas impingement, the gas comes down right into the portion of the gun where there's ammo coming up and getting chambered into battery by the bolt. And it's got the star chamber, the 7 lugs that have to mesh up in there. And it gets dirty. And it gets dirty fairly quickly, and you should clean it every so often. Well, you're still going to have the AR multi-lug style bolt in this-ish with a little bit of differences, okay? Some that, I mean, I can tell you it's an AR type bolt with differences. That's all I can say right now. Maybe you guys know all the differences. Maybe you don't. I don't care how you found out. I just don't want to say too much. But with that long stroke gas piston, it's picking his gas up way out in the front there and then driving that long piston and carrier back, so it's not like pooping where it eats quite so much. So the Jackal I'm really excited about. And it's not a completely new design. Now, don't get me wrong. The Jackal is its own design, but there's been other stuff like it over the years. Several others, quite a few actually. But there's some tweaks with this that makes it truly its own. But the big thing is it's going to be a lot cheaper than some of these other brands that have similar-ish style guns. I'll just say similar-ish because it's not fair to say a dagger is exactly like a Glock Gen 3. Because although the parts interchange, it's not. It's a different shooting experience. Just like if you have a P80, that's more like a 2011, like a double-stack 1911 grip angle, and that's a different shooting experience, even though it also takes Gen 3 Glock parts. So there's other rifles that exist, pistols and rifles, a lot like the Jackal, but they're not exactly the same. And the Jackal didn't come out over a year ago, guys, for a reason. Because they knew the concept they wanted to make, but it never quite got it exactly where they wanted it. And as they kept on endurance testing it more and more, they found a few things they didn't like about it. It was discussed in my YouTube video, and it's just true. There's a few things they didn't quite like. They just said, is it good enough to throw out there? Probably. Would a lot of people still like it? Yes. This was the conversation I had with them. But would there be a few issues potentially with it over time? Yeah. They were finding once they got up around 10,000 rounds, there was a few issues. They went back to the drawing board with it, reconstructed some key elements of it, added some things, redesigned a few things. And I don't just mean went in there and like put some super glue on something. No, I mean went back to the drawing board and said, eliminate the way it reciprocates here and set in a set of rails there. That type of redesign. And that's what they did. And that's why it took longer than normal. A lot of people in the community are ticked off and say they don't even want it anymore because they had to wait too long. If you guys are in that camp, that's fine. Again, I don't care. I don't work there. I cut lawns for a living, but I'm just trying to be fair, especially when I was talking to one of the engineers on the team, and they're like, yeah, dude, there were a few things that were starting. It wasn't a disaster. There's just some things we didn't like so much. So they went back and tweaked it. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I'd rather wait than to be like beta testing a product for you that I spent my money on, and then it sucks and stuff, you know. What's happening, Vito? How you doing, man? Thanks for supporting the channel. Nice to see you. What's happening, Tim Shock? We got Denny's plant-based journey in here. What do you guys think about the Jackal? I know some of you are like, well, it's been so long, it didn't come out, now I'm ticked. Well, you can feel that way, but I'm glad, you know, they didn't put it out till they finally got it right. Bill Camperus, what's happening, Bill? Nice to see you, buddy. I'm just looking at some long-time faces in here. We got Randy Smith. What's happening, man? Shout out to all the channel members in the chat. Thanks, guys. We have Scott Plagueman. What's up, Scott? Pillbox Bunker, of course. What's happening, Pillbox? Ting Ting. What's happening, Ting? Let's see. I want to give you channel members a shout out because you guys are kind of like silent supporters. I don't always read your chats out loud every week, but trust me, I know you guys are here, though, after the fact. I see you guys. You know what I'm saying? I think I caught most of them. Let me know if I missed one of those channel members there. What's happening, Ronnie Thompson? How you doing, man? So it's in your neck of the woods, dude. Ronnie Thompson is a South Carolina boy. You know what I'm saying? It's in his neck of the woods. Just here's the thing. People can hate on it all they want. I guarantee you ain't going to find one in stock. I'll post it to locals as soon as they are, but they'll be selling out within 10 minutes for months for everybody hating them. Let's see. I'm going to get off in just a minute here. Here's another gun I'm really looking forward to a lot. Okay. And I need to hurry up and get my initial review out on YouTube. The Ruger LCP Max. There's like literally 10 things about that little gun that makes it like built truly for concealed carry. And I've been able to shoot one a little bit. I've actually been able to shoot a couple of them now, but I still have mine that I'm going to do the review on. But yeah, you guys are like, dude, he doesn't even talk about Ruger much. I don't a whole lot, but I have, I think, total of about 4 Ruger guns. And just to let you guys know, my first pistol was a Ruger, actually. It was a Ruger. It was a Ruger Mark II. 50th anniversary, I think it was. I think I bought that pistol in 2000, but it was a 1999 edition. I was just old enough to buy a pistol back then. So, yeah, the Ruger LCP Max. It holds like 10 rounds flush or 12 with just a slight little, slightly extended mag with just enough for the pinky on there. It's the size of an LCP2 that holds 6 rounds, like literally exactly, and it holds 10 rounds flush. It's kind of crazy. Little micro double stack single feed. I mean, just the lines and angles on it. Just the way the barrel slightly recesses. I don't want to give away the whole review because I do want to do a dedicated video to it. But, man, I know that sounds kind of weird because I'm kind of going back and forth, but I just had a short list of guns that I'm kind of, interested in and looking forward to for the year, Gort, what's happening, Gort? Thanks for being a channel member, dude. I know he's also hangs out over with us on locals, and he said chainsaw. Well, I'm into chainsaws. You know that. Yeah, come on, man. Top chainsaws I'm looking to in the year 2022. I do actually have a I think I might have a video with a chainsaw in it on here. I've showed a couple of my Makita cordless chainsaws on live streams back in the day. Maybe someone remembers that. I might have took what Gort's saying totally out of context, unless he just literally, he's been a long-time friend of the channel. Maybe you just remember I like chainsaws, Gort, or are you guys laughing at me because I'm jumping in on a halfway inside joke? Another cool thing with PSAs, they're 8Ks. Man, I've been loving that GF3R built on that original Romanian parts kit. Man, I shot some regular GF3s at the gathering. Awesome. Shot the DPMS Anvil, essentially basically a GF3, minus a little bit of labeling differences. Been impressed. I also like the fact that they have like AKM kits, if you will, like barreled receivers where you just add your own trigger group, fire control group, whatever you want to call it in there. Pick your own furniture, mag, and you can complete it and kind of custom tailor it how you want. That's pretty cool. Oh, that was from Mateo. Thanks, Gort. Well, I am into chainsaws too, though, to be honest with you guys. So there you go. See, I'm versatile enough. I see somebody in there I want to say hi to. I'm like, I'll jump in on this conversation. Hosea says, my first gun was in 1911. Found it in a car under the back seat in a junkyard. Lucky score, man. Lucky score. Ron Wayne, what's happening, dude? How you doing, man? I think I saw Misty earlier. If you're still around, shout out to you, Misty. But what's happening, Ron? What is it? Wet Pasta says I have a G3C and a G3. Good choices. Thinking about a Canik TP9 SF. What do you think? I have an SFX. Hey, you hang in there, Bill Alexander. You getting out of here, man? You doing good? I don't like to talk about people's personal info too much, but you know what I mean, man. Are you doing good? I hope you're hanging in there, buddy. I think maybe he made it public knowledge why he missed last stream, but God bless you, Bill. I hope you're hanging in there, man. I hope you're strong. Canik TP9 SF. What's happening, Misty? Yeah, it's a fine pistol. I don't want to say I like it more than I like the Caniks. I don't know if I'll ever concealed carry one, though. At least not my SFX. That trigger's a little light for me. The GX4 is kind of right there where I want it to be for a kind of a defensive pistol, right where I want that pull to be as far as the pounds of it and all that. G3C is good. The Caniks are great shooting pistols if you want a very short answer. I just don't know if I quite would carry one. And that might be an unpopular opinion in here. And there's some of you guys that definitely carry them. I promise you I'm not ripping on you. For me, though, that trigger is just not exactly where I want it to be for self-defense. That's my personal choice. I promise you guys, I'm not pandering. Like, you do you. Some of you guys are carrying them every day. I do like the Canics. They just got the triggers like so good, and maybe at the expense of being a little bit light. Now, maybe some of you are saying, well, hold on, dude. The SF trigger is not nearly as light as the SFX. Maybe that's true. I don't remember. I know my friend Dale let me shoot his Canic, and it had a very, very nice trigger on it. So there you go. And it looks like a lot of you guys are huge Canic fans. And yeah, I think they're a really nice gun to shoot. I do. I'm just giving my opinion. People ask. Okay, and that's my opinion on it. No, I don't like a gun with a 10-pound trigger either, trust me. But it's just the SFX. It's a good trigger. Smooth. Very, very smooth. Do I recommend the LCP Max? Look, reliable. I haven't been able to put 1,000,000 rounds through mine yet, okay? So far, so good. It has tons of features, though, that make me like... They literally built that gun for concealed carry. I'm not joking. It's not just a small gun. There's like every little thing about it. The recoil on it? Are you kidding me? Just like I said, the GX4 has, in my opinion, phenomenally low recoil for a 9 in such a small platform. You got to take everything in such a small platform for a 9, very low recoil. That little 380 is very low recoil for how small it is too. And that's not by accident. They literally hooked that thing up with a few little design features. You know what I'm saying? Misty Wayne, she made some nice decals. I'm going to give some away of these on locals. Linda's like, oh, I just got done mailing everything out. Well, we'll give you a week or so to catch up. Check this out. Misty Wayne. Some nice 2A strong crossed rifles. She hooked us up with a few, guys. We've got like, of course, Let's Go Brandon. A nice big stack. Several varieties of those. Let's Go Brandon decals. I'll be hooking some of you guys up. When I send you guys random stuff, here's some extra little things to stuff in there for you and whatnot. Let's Go Brandon with the 2A representing in the middle. Look, guys, we got to have fun. And some of you guys are like, well, I would never be able to put that sticker anywhere public. Okay, put it in inside your locker. But some of you guys are like, no, you know what? As the old saying goes, politics is downstream from culture. We want to change this. We need to speak out and let people know about this former vice president. Look at all these goodies. See how nice she is to you guys? Some more 2A strong. LGB. No, not LGBTQ, LMNOP. I can't remember all of them. No, just, this is called Let's Go Brandon, right? And a couple different color scheme versions. And these are cool that some of you guys will enjoy. And these are quite obviously, in my opinion, to label either your ammo can or your ammo shelf. Some of you guys have a shelf you might want to put on the front of, but most likely your ammo can. Yeah, she knows I'm an AK girl. And look, she's a good girl and knows I'm an AK guy. Boy, I messed that up. I'm really tired. She's a good girl and knows I'm an AK guy. You guys can soundbite me on that. I don't care. But look, her being a good old girl, she knew I was a 7.62 by 39 guy. And she only made 7.62 by 39 labels for me. So here's the thing. If you want to be friends with Misty, you're only allowed to shoot the AK. No, I'm joking. She also made a whole bunch of 5.56 by 45. I told you she was a good old girl. Good old Kentucky girl. Right, Ron? And here's the thing, guys. She's a good old girl. And she makes awesome decals. And she's totally into guns. And she's cute as a button. But she's totally taken. So she's totally taken, guys. But trust me, she's all of the above. And nah, she's been a good friend of the channel for a long time. Look, I got 5.56. So I saw a few guys already say they could use some of these. Bill Camper, so many guns, so little money. I know. I called myself a girl. I was thinking, man, she's a good old girl, and I'm an AK guy. And I've worked too much this week, and I said, I'm an AK girl. Living in a Barbie world. Or I didn't say that part, did I? I doubt it. All right. Well, I'm going to be on Locals tomorrow night, which is going to be quite a bit of fun. We've been on here like literally 2 hours, guys. I can't believe it. Think about what you want with the ammo. I've been posting on Locals to try to help you guys out as much as I can. I just can't post certain things here due to terms of service. That's why I'm not trying to play hard to get, but think about the ammo situation. I don't know. Let me know. I read these afterwards. You guys are free to come back and leave a comment after you're done watching the stream, and don't forget to leave a like because every little bit helps, but come back and let me know if there's any guns you guys are looking forward to. Seriously, like in a fun way. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to have fun. I mean, there's lots of subject matter to complain about, but I don't know. I kind of ranted about ammo earlier in the stream. Then I kind of talked about ammo, and I kind of wanted to end on a note where there's some guns I'm definitely looking forward to doing more shooting of this year, and a couple that I don't have right now. I don't know if I'll be able to ever afford them or not, but it's fun to dream and think about stuff coming out. Maybe eventually I'll be able to get a Jackal. I don't think they're going to be that expensive, but I think they're going to be really, really hard to get for a while. I'll see what I can do. I don't know. If you guys have any hookups, maybe you guys can put in the good word for me. I don't know. We'll see. But let me take one last peek at the chat. I'm not really a big hunter, to be honest with you. Hunting is awesome. It's a great hobby. It's a great way that some people feed themselves. I'm more of a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's the primary reason I'm into guns. Although I love shooting recreationally too. I also don't really have time to hunt, but I'm not opposed to it. Like I would hunt, obviously, if I had more time and more money. Yeah, it's actually more expensive to hunt than not to hunt because as meat goes up at the store, they keep raising the hunting permits, at least in the state of Michigan. And I like the history and I like to collect, but not a huge hunter. There's tons of people in here who probably hunt way more than I do. Thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate the kind words, man. I'm getting ready to get out of here, guys. I'm just, taking a quick peek at a couple of the chats, if y'all don't mind. Jeffrey Blazer, amazing video. Thank you for what you do. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate the encouragement, and today's a pretty encouraging day for me, too, if you think about it. I mean, Good Friday. Yeah. In a couple days here, Easter Sunday, Jesus arose from the dead. Look, I know a lot of you guys don't believe like I do, and I'm not telling you to, but for me, that's pretty exciting. You know what I'm saying? Pretty exciting. Let's think about that. Someone that would hang on the cross and so that I might be able to be saved, and then literally came back and arose from the dead. Pretty exciting weekend. According to my religious beliefs, and you guys do you, but hey, I'm going to do me, and I do really think this is a very special time of year, very special holidays. Mark Rosen says, I rock that Let's Go Brandon on my back window. There you go. Let's go, Brandon. Okay, y'all making me blush, she says. Told you she's cute, guys, but it is what it is, right? Speaking of cuties, where's Linda 2A girl before I get off of here? Let me say goodnight to my cutie pie, always helping out on the streams, and I definitely appreciate your help, Linda. And he's not so cute, but thank you, Mateo, for all of your help, too. All right, guys, happy Easter. I know I missed tons of your comments, but I promise you I'll catch them afterwards. And thanks for all the comments you guys left tonight. And thank you for leaving all the good comments you did last week, where I definitely read all of them and got lots of inspiration. And you are welcome, Wet Pasta. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow night on Locals. I don't know, probably around 9 o'clock Eastern time, 9:30-ish. All right, thanks for watching, and have a good one. Yes, he is risen, and he is coming back. So lots to look forward to, lots of good stuff still going on, guys. All right, I'm out of here for real.